I was in the middle of a video call with several shareholders when my high school class group, which had been silent for a decade, suddenly exploded with notifications. "Megan, did you see Felicity's post? She's getting married today. Are you really not coming?" As the messages flooded in, I realized that Felicity Simons, the prom queen of our high school, was tying the knot. All our old classmates were attending. I replied, trying to keep it professional, "Sorry, I'm swamped with work at the moment," but the responses were swift and brutal. "What could you possibly be busy with? Someone who hasn't posted in 100 years must be doing pretty poorly. Seriously, just admit you're embarrassed and stop pretending to be so busy." Felicity chimed in herself, "Remember our bet? I always said I'd marry someone better than you." I shot back, "Can't say I recall that." Immediately, others jumped in. Felicity's husband is the CEO of a publicly traded company. They even sent over 100 luxury cars to pick her up today. Sounds like you're worried about how your life compares, so you're pretending to forget. Maybe you're so broke you can't even afford a wedding gift. Why not start a crowdfunding campaign to help you chip in? Under the barrage of comments, Felicity tagged me again, putting on a show of graciousness. "I really hope you can make it to my wedding to witness my happy moment. Since we're classmates, I'll have my husband arrange a cleaning job for you." With that, she posted a stunning photo of herself and her husband in wedding attire. My jaw dropped when I saw her husband's face. That was Logan Ridley, my husband, who married into my family. "Sure, I'll definitely come to witness your happiness," I typed back, my fingers shaking slightly. Just as I hit send, my phone buzzed with a message from Logan. "Hey babe, I'm heading back to my hometown to see my parents today. I've already prepped dinner and left it in the fridge for you. Just heat it up when you're ready. Love you always." Logan had moved in with me 3 years ago, always looking out for me and taking care of everything. Even when he stepped out, he never forgot to prepare for my daily needs. I used to be touched by his thoughtful gestures, but now, all I felt was a sense of absurdity. I abruptly ended the video call and drove to the address Felicity had shared in the group. As I approached her home, I spotted a massive red banner hanging over the entrance, warmly welcoming Mr. Ridley, president of All Grand Group, to the wedding. Beneath the banner stood Felicity, resplendent in a snow-white couture wedding gown, eagerly awaiting her groom. A crowd of our high school classmates surrounded her, buzzing with excitement. "Felicity, you really kept this under wraps. We had no idea you were marrying the CEO of All Grand Group. Seriously, Mr. Ridley is a well-known entrepreneur. You've hit the jackpot. Felicity, you're about to be a high society lady. Don't forget about us little people." Even our high school teacher, Amanda Lane, was there, fawning over Felicity. "Felicity, the first time I laid eyes on you, I knew you were destined for greatness. That's why I never scolded you for your grades. I knew you were born to be wealthy, and didn't need to rely on academic achievements." As the crowd showered her with compliments, Felicity wore a triumphant smile, her eyes sparkling with self-satisfaction. Logan had been living with me for years, seemingly doing nothing productive. To help him gain experience, I had entrusted him with managing the smallest company under my name, All Grand Group. Little did I know that would become the very capital Felicity was now flaunting to bask in the spotlight. When I walked in, the classmates who had been so eager to flatter her just moments ago suddenly furrowed their brows, looking at me with evident disdain. One of Felicity's lackeys spotted the car behind me and rushed over with a sneer. "Megan, you're really something else. Did you actually rent a Bentley just to come to Felicity's wedding and save face?" At that, the others chimed in with scornful remarks. "No wonder you had the nerve to show up. You just wanted to play pretend, right? Renting a car like that must cost you at least 3 months' salary." Some people just love to put on a show, as if pretending to be rich could ever stack up against Felicity's husband. Seriously, is it that hard to admit others are doing better than you? Why go through all that trouble to rent a fancy car just to keep up with the Joneses? Despite their derogatory comments, I remained calm. "Actually, it's my car," I replied evenly. Before I could gather my thoughts, Felicity suddenly stepped in front of me, her expression furious. She raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. "Your car? This is clearly my husband's car. I've suspected my husband was seeing someone else on the side, and now I find out it's you, you little tramp. You shameless gold digger, how dare you show up at my wedding, driving my husband's car to taunt me, the legitimate wife." Felicity's words left everyone around us wide-eyed and in disbelief. "Felicity, is that car really your husband's?" "No way," one classmate exclaimed incredulous. Felicity puffed up with pride, her chin held high. "Of course it's real. Why would I lie?" With that she pulled out her phone and started scrolling through photos of her and Logan. There were shots of them snuggled up in the car and others of them lounging on the hood, looking cozy and intimate. The details inside the car and the license plate were unmistakably clear. The crowd gasped collectively. "Holy crap, it really is Felicity's husband's car. That means Megan must be the other woman." Felicity's expression twisted into a scowl, her eyebrows knitting together in anger. "No wonder you've been so quiet all these years. Turns out you've just been playing the side chick." The crowd turned their eyes to me, their expressions a mix of shock and disdain. "I can't believe it. Megan looks so put together, yet she's been sneaking around as someone's mistress, right? I used to think she was this cool, aloof straight-A student. I even wrote her a love letter back in high school. Now it feels gross just thinking about it." Some people act all innocent on the outside, but behind closed doors, they're a whole different story. The moment they see a wealthy guy, they're practically begging for attention. Look at her flaunting the sugar daddy's car right in front of the real wife. She must be jealous of Felicity getting married, and is trying to ruin the wedding. Even Amanda looked at me with contempt, her voice dripping with disdain. Megan, when you're out in public, please don't mention that you were my student. I never taught anyone with such a lack of morals. The crowd's chatter turned into a frenzy, drawing in onlookers who pointed fingers and whispered. Some even took out their phones to record, while others spat in my direction. In a fit of anger, I ripped off my designer coat, which was worth tens of thousands of dollars, and tossed it into a nearby trash can. I turned to face Felicity, my voice steady and fierce. You should really ask Logan who the real mistress is before you start throwing accusations around. Once I finished, Felicity slapped me hard across the face. Do you really need to ask? Today is my wedding day with Logan. Can't you see that? She pointed angrily at my car, her voice rising. I absolutely despise mistresses. All of them deserve to be punished. With that she pulled out a key and scratched the words, "Mistress, die," across my car's paint. I glanced at the glaring letters, a chill running down my spine. You'll soon realize just how ironic those words are. Felicity's anger boiled over. You shameless hussy. You're stealing my husband and then mocking me. Just thinking about my husband's car being driven by a skank like you makes me sick. With that she picked up a brick from the ground, and began smashing it against my car. She hit the windows, the headlights, the hood. Nothing was spared. Felicity is going to be the future first lady of all Grand Group. We can't let her be bullied by a lowlife like Megan, someone in the crowd shouted. Suddenly everyone started grabbing anything they could find to join in the destruction. After smashing the windows, they even climbed inside, vandalizing the seats and interior. My once pristine luxury car was quickly reduced to a heap of wreckage. I watched these lunatics with a cold glare. I hope when it comes time for you to pay for this mess, you'll be just as eager to take responsibility. But my words fell on deaf ears. They acted like I was invisible. Just then, one of Felicity's lackeys pried open the trunk and shouted, "Hey, look, she's got a bunch of cool stuff hidden back here." Felicity stepped closer, pulling out a painting with a scornful smirk. A sleazy woman who makes a living off her body trying to play connoisseur with a collection. Give me a break. I couldn't help but issue a warning in return. These items are worth far more than my car, especially that painting. I'd advise you to be careful. The contents of my trunk were prized acquisitions from auctions that I hadn't yet found a place for. Felicity's anger flared further at my words. It's a desecration for a creature like you to own such a masterpiece. You're trash, and you deserve to own nothing but trash.